Welcome all participants for international seminar on characteristics of an effective teacher. Now all teachers have gathered to listen to each other as well as to understand what are these best 12 characteristics. As we already communicated that the first characteristics will start with the preparation before starting any class until we admit mistake and focus on our improvement. So it is a journey. Why we have decided that we should conduct this type of seminar, that we understand what is the need of a best teacher or a effective teacher. Secondly, can we have a beautiful strategy that every month, is there are 12 characteristics, every month we should implement one characteristics in our life, in the entire our work culture. So every month one character divided by 12 months, as well as that will be a strategic focus, as well as will develop a ecosystem where we'll understand that these are the systems, these are the characteristics which are required to be imbibed in ourselves, as well as we need to improve on that. Welcome all participants, welcome all resource person. Now I will hand over the session to Abigail ma'am. Could you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, over to you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Abigail, Assistant Professor and PG Program Coordinator from Krupanidhi Group of Institutions, Bangalore. I'm sorry I'll not be able to turn on my camera because of the internet disruption due to rain. So I hope I'm audible, and if there is any disruption in my voice, please do let me know. And I first of all want to thank Besto for this great opportunity for me to be a part and also share a few thoughts. And this was a wonderful article written. So I'm just going to share my screen and the presentation. So the topic is the 12 characteristics of an effective teacher, written by Robert J. Walker. And the subtopic, which is for me for today, is preparedness before the class. So what I'll be covering is the overview of the paper and what is preparation in teaching and why is it important and what are the key aspects which are required or the key pillars of preparation in teaching. So just a quick overview of um, the paper itself. And this paper, for 14 years, the presenter had engaged a lot of college students and over 1,000 students in discussions of writing assignments that pertain to what were the characteristics of their teachers. And they used to, I mean, he usually used to ask an out of class essay assignment, which was questioned as what were the qualities of the most memorable teacher who encouraged you to teach. That was the basic question, and many students had written a lot of things. Over 1,000 students, it was undergrad, postgrad students, as well as students who are getting trained themselves to be even teachers. So there were both traditional and non-traditional students for whom Robert J. Walker had taught over the past 15 years. And there were students who were coming, traditional students from campus as well as non-traditional students. Now, apart from this basically research was done around countries like US, Canada, Bermuda, and the Caribbean. And most importantly, what defined an effective teacher was a particular teacher who had been the most successful in helping the respondents to learn. And the characteristics described were based on a data analysis, which were most commonly described as students described their effective teachers as she was always prepared, he was very positive, and so on. So as we all know, there are a few characteristics which stands um, out of an effective teacher. So after looking into closely looking into all the essays and deriving the qualitative traits, that is the personality of a teacher, apart from the quantitative or the academic qualifications of a teacher. So then Mr. Robert actually derived the characteristics as a teacher who came to class prepared, the one who maintained positive attitude about teaching, and also the one who held high expectations, who showed creativity, and the one who treated and graded students fairly. And we'll all be speaking one after the other about all these 12 characteristics. So what were the findings of this? The essays combined the pre and post class discussion of the assignment, which clearly defined the 12 characteristics of an effective teacher: being prepared, having positive attitude, having high expectation, being creative, who was fair in class, who had a personal, approachable touch with students, who had a sense of belonging in the classroom, who was compassionate, who had a sense of humor, who was respected, who respected students, who forgave students, and also admitted mistakes. So I'll be taking the first topic, which is preparedness before the class. And I have a few quotes which came up very interesting while I was just reading about this. That is, Benjamin Franklin once said, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. And Abraham Lincoln also said, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. I think this sums up what preparedness is all about. So we as teachers also, have a lot to prepare, and that makes us really strong as teachers. So according to Robert, he said the most effective teachers come to class each day ready to teach, and the what is the result of a teacher being prepared is that students learn things very easily, and there is no waste of time because you're just not wandering there. You have a purpose why a teacher is in the class, and the class starts on time, they end the class on time, and they already deliver what is there with them, the knowledge which needs to be shared. And also students strongly felt time flies in their class because students are engaged learning, they are not bored, they are not asleep. There's a lot of discussion, there's a lot of productiveness happening within the classroom. Now, why is it important? Why preparation is important? Now, as we know, teaching can be a challenging but rewarding profession that allows us to guide students as they learn about important topics and materials. Now, if you want to make the most of your teaching career and help students develop skills and competencies for success, preparation can be one of the most important part of a teaching journey. Now, learning about teaching preparation process and why it's so crucial can help us as teachers develop the skills and strategies and improve us as teachers. As we know, teachers are always learning. A student may learn and stop, but we as teachers evolve as learners, throughout. Now, it's important to prepare for teaching classes so that we as teachers can lead productive, engaging lessons for our students and maximize the effectiveness of our time and resources. Now, while preparation for teaching can include like lesson planning, creating daily activities, now it can also involve ongoing training which we can receive and gain skills and competencies as teacher. Now, if we talk about what are the benefits or why is it important, one being we have improved teaching skills. Now, as we prepare to teach, one can develop skills, um, to successfully guide students' learning. You can improve to prepare for teaching by researching best topics or educational philosophies. A teacher can also learn about issues that face education systems and develop strategies to face them. One way to prepare for teaching role is to actually discuss about career development or educational professionals or being even mentors. They can help teachers to develop their skills. Like apart from just teaching, you also learn to be patient, being empathetic. You have attention to detail, and so on. Now, secondly, we have the importance of being prepared. You is to have it will lead you to enhance student learning and performance. When you prepare to teach, you can be ready to help students with any potential problems that may arise. This can help increase their opportunity to learn, potentially improving performance. For example, you say preparing for a particular lesson can help you predict any problems that your students may experience with the new material. Now, you can plan what are the possible questions they may ask and what are the possible issues that may come up, and you already have a problem solving strategy with you, which that will help you to solve their problem much simpler, in a quicker format, in a very quick way. And apart from that, we can you effectively use the time. That is, if you don't prepare for a lesson, you may not know how long a particular activity can take, and sometimes there might be a waste of time. So as you prepare your lesson, it's better you take a rough estimate as to how much time each of the activity would take. Next one is fewer disciplinary issues. Along with using time effectively, preparation can also limit the potential for disciplinary issue in the classroom, because students are constantly engaged and interested. So they don't have time to think of other things, or they are just not wasting time, or they are not diverted with their attention. Instead, they are with you, they are engaged, and they are interested in classroom. So a well prepared class will have a fewer disciplinary issues. Next one is it also helps in increased confidence. Now, sometimes teaching can be nerve wracking, which we have seen in our first days of our class. So preparation can help you increase confidence in your abilities. That is, when you create lessons or activities before class, it will eliminate any sort of stress because of unpreparedness. Um, Sometimes you may still be nervous to give your lesson, but you are confident that it is a good lesson and you are qualified to teach. Now, finally, the last important reason why preparation is important is you demonstrate passion and skill. Now, effective preparation will demonstrate your passion in the field to students, parents, or co-workers. In many cases, your colleagues and students can tell when you have put a lot of effort in your lesson. Sometimes they can know that you haven't prepared much. So this can show that you apply more effort than is normally required to do your best possible teaching. So these are the reasons why preparation is very important. Now, the next question which arises is, what are the key pillars? How can we prepare, or what are the key pillars for preparation in teaching? Now, there are three main pillars of teaching. One is to train, second is to plan, and third is to coach. Now, what does it mean? Now, for example, train, this pillar involves the training and education that teachers can use to develop their skills. Now, we as teachers can enter into any educational program. You may begin training for a teaching role, then you can expect to learn like how to do a curriculum design, what are the educational standards, what are the resources, what are the material which can be used, what are the potential learning styles, how are we going to engage students, and how are we going to develop our aspects of child development. All these things can be learned or trained once we are in this profession. So there are so many soft skills program or soft skills which faculties or teachers also require, which is patience and leadership. So as we continue our teaching career, crucial ongoing training can involve maybe completing workshops or getting certification or getting to know new technologies and teaching methods or philosophies. So this is one way where we can this is one of the pillars or the key pillars of preparation in teaching. Secondly, we have plan. So the planning pillar involves the preparation that a teacher might do on a daily, weekly, or even quarterly basis to get ready for lessons and activities. This can include having a lesson plan. Now, for example, a teacher may take a course to help students to prepare for a lesson that uses a new type of technology. In this way, a planning pillar can easily help, when you have a strict regime or a plan. So you can plan on what are the activities to run by each topic or each lesson, which is the right fit during the in the desired curriculum. It could be making worksheets or books or materials or anything. Now, finally, the third pillar for preparation and teaching is to coach. Now, coaching refers to the ongoing process of feedback and mentorship that teacher may receive as and when he or she advances in their career. Now, depending on the resources who can observe their teaching and offer guidance on areas of improvement. Now, this
Excuse me, Veil, ma'am. Can we jump to the
yes, sir.
conclusion?
Yes, sure. So, and finally, my last slide is what are the strategies for more efficient planning. So, first thing, you can know the nuances of teaching. So, spend a lot of time in planning initially, and the sequential years becomes easier. Next is always keep all your materials which you have, intact, and you can have your latest teaching resources. Nowadays internet can be a very useful thing. And finally, working in a distraction free environment, that is free from your students or teachers or family members. You need your own space to help you concentrate more and to protect their credibility and so on. And last point is planning is crucial. Trying to throw some ineffective. So these are some of the strategies for more efficient planning. So that is it for thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's a very amazing and very learning. Now
I
I
would like to call upon, yeah, Dr. Subrina to take over the session.
there is a small correction in the schedule. Sabrina,
I need a clarification in this
Okay.
talk. Could you please? Am I allowed to get clarification from the speaker?
shall we take it at the end of the session?
Okay, fine.
Completing
Right.
all 12 characteristics, then we can have our discussion for 5-10 minutes. That will be more appropriate.
Okay, sir. That's good.
Sure, sure. Now there is a small change in the schedule. Now we have a Sabrina listening with us. She will take 5-10 minutes, move from here, and then we'll follow the regular schedule. Welcome, ma'am, Sabrina, ma'am, and over to you.
Okay, thank you. Can you listen to me? Maybe.
Yes, yes.
Proceed,
Yeah,
proceed,
okay,
please.
okay. So I will talk a bit on creativity in medical teaching. I am from healthcare. Our sector is very, very different from other fields. Okay, so in a sense, what is creativity? I think it is a generative system inside the thought, as well as the potential to generate new, innovative, useful, and effective ideas. In other words, it can be said as the ability for creating innovative material. Creativity constitutes 4 key elements. Here you can see fluency, elaboration, originality, and flexibility. In healthcare field, creativity is very important because without creativity, you cannot save human life. You cannot save animal life. You cannot save the healthy planet. So each and every step we talk about creativity. What should be the characteristics of a creative person? There should be fluency in thought, should be very flexible. In our healthcare field, we don't like stubborn person. We cannot make that person medical doctor or researcher or anything. Flexibility is the key in our field. Capable of providing new definitions to problems. Must have the thinking capacity. This is a patient. What are the symptoms? Many times they may not present the typical symptoms, and also for the research. For any research in the medical field, 95% is the failure rate. So every time our brain is very hot, and should have sensitivity to said problems. Why do medical students need creativity? Healthcare providers must provide creative solution to interact with patients. Creativity helps with problem solving in the service sector. Medical students need to have detailed knowledge of many courses. Their knowledge should be very vast, because only over 20 years, 30 years, we can understand a very small thing of the human body. All are unknown. Need to include many techniques to improve creativity in the curriculum. Why we need creativity in teaching? It should be to foster students and the teachers' own creative expression. Teachers must create creative learning atmosphere. Without creative attitude, medical science cannot stand. The emphasis is thus on the opportunity produced by the teachers rather than only one teacher himself. It should be coordinated work. It should be collaboration work. It should be based on the proper communications. In medical science, you cannot do anything only by yourself. It must be collaboration. By doing so, we avoid the typical inclination to restrict creativity in teaching to a personality trait seen just a few outstanding individuals. My viewpoint, as a teacher, I think we need to address students' creativity barriers. What are the existing obstacles? Identifying the underlying causes that can be helpful. Outlines should be made in this regard to enhance creativity. Students are overburdened because in medical science, always we need to memorize anatomy, physiology, memorization. But when we go to the practical field in a hospital or in the research field, everything is based on the creativity. So the present curriculum that is taught in the medical school everywhere, there should be the practical demonstration and the integration of the hand-to-hand practice and techniques. When I came to Japan 26 years before, just I saw that people are moving their hands through experiments. Okay, no textbook that you have to memorize. But I graduated medical science through British curriculum. There, everything just I had to memorize. So this is a very big difference that is taught in the developing countries and the teaching system in the medical education in developed countries. How I have done it. In my teaching style, I usually try to follow content techniques that are creative, innovative approaches of teaching and learning, and encouragement of students' creativity. Motivation is very, very good, important thing. If we harass a student or if we use just a toxic word, that student don't come to learn anymore. I don't know much about the developing countries because my whole professional life has been in the developed countries. But in the developed countries, our language should be very, very strict to handle a student. Then the content techniques that are creative. A creative approach to material is intimately related to a teacher's understanding of his or her subject matter. A teacher's mastery and passion for great concept is evident in a curriculum in which the subject matter is organized in such a manner that enables connections, stimulates excitements, and makes learning a powerful activity. Then innovation. Every time just we talk about innovation, even we see a microscope innovation, even we go to a patient innovation, when we see a blood sample innovation. Innovation is the key in the medical science, in the healthcare. Without innovation, day by day, and the updating of the innovation, we cannot do anything. So innovation is the key approach of education in healthcare and medical science. Thirdly, I always try to encourage the students' creativity. Whatever they do, every week we do the journal clubs. They study many publications. They know about the healthcare system of many countries. Then they come and we have a criticism, discussion, constructive discussion every week, Monday morning. This is the way that we brush up and brainstorm the students to be the future leader of the healthcare society. So here you can, of course, humanity is a great factor. Without having a moral sense, ethics, and humanity, you cannot make a student creative. Brainstorming is another very important thing. Every time in the class, I at least take 10 minutes time for the exercising. They are brainstorming, exercising. Teaching students the skill of analyzing personal values alongside belief. Encouraging students to summarize gained knowledge and experiences on disease and patients. What are the benefits for the creative teaching in the society? You can say it has a great motivational advantage in terms of educational engagement and motivation for learning, social advantage that can be in terms of internal community and individual connection. Efficacy advantages include increased self-confidence, self-care, self-development, self-respect, self-decision-making. These are the very important words in the healthcare. As students are challenged to learn more, their performance improves in terms of enhanced understanding, retention, and transfer of skills and information. So in conclusion, I would like to say, finally, new knowledge, ideas, essential principle, ethics, instructional strategies are very important for healthcare educational system. This should contribute to one's comprehension and can help one's practice. Informing practice, on the other hand, is not the same as influencing practice. So from my 26 years experience in healthcare education, from PhD student to master to undergraduate student, creativity is the key component to build up the future healthcare professional. Thank you. And I thank all the all the distinguished guests here. And I am very happy to have some speech here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's very interesting and thought-provoking. on the behalf of the entire team to express our sincere gratitude. Thank you very much. The next participant, person,
Okay, I will just
Vijay ma'am.
share. Oh, stop share. Okay.
The next is
That was a good presentation.
pardon? The next presentation will be on positive and optimistic attitude by Dr. Yes Sriniji Mokshagundam. Moksha ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. I'm just sharing the slide.
Yeah. Just 5 to 10 minutes. That is the time what we allocate. Just stick to the time. Yeah. Welcome.
Right.
Thank you.
Sir, hope I'm audible and visible.
Yes, yes.
Correct. So yes, international seminar on characteristics of effective teacher by Besto Edutrex International, Mumbai. Yes. On the eve of Teachers' Day, it's a great pleasure indeed, and also a thoughtful responsibility. So to uphold, or even we can call it as endorsing or supporting one of the, say, distinguishing or best characteristic that any good teacher can have, that is positive or optimistic nature. So no matter whether he or she is a school teacher or a college lecturer, professor, supervisor, guide, anybody for that matter. So all their physical as well as intellectual work, it cannot go unrecognized. First and foremost, I wish all the teachers and educators who are present here a very happy Teachers' Day 2022. Right. So yes, we all have a doubt, positivity or negativity or something in between, right? We all know and we have definitely experienced that life is a mixture of ups and downs. So, but it is our choice whether to continue to stay up or down. And it is in my hands to decide what happens with my life, right? But people think how? It's very simple. One needs to cultivate good positive thoughts inside them. So I understand telling that is very easy, but nurturing or developing the same, yes, definitely needs incessant or say continual practice. So an individual's thoughts or judgments, even the attitude defines his or her character. And even research, it has proved that a person with a positive attitude towards everything in life, he or she has a much better lifestyle, happiness, or even well-being for that matter than others compared to others. So good positive thoughts definitely allow you to face whatever comes in your life. Because positive people, they have altogether different perception as well as way of dealing. And definitely when we look at the outcomes, so with this kind of attitude or outlook, it could be really incredible. And we all know that negative thoughts definitely ruin everything, and it spoils the whole environment as well. So we have lots and lots of benefits of being a positive thinking teacher. So we have positive attitude, right? What we should believe is just don't tend to go with the wind and then blame the destiny for whatever happens in our lives. So as educators, we shall radiate positivity. We shall feel that happiness and energy, and we all shall try to reflect it into our present or even future, wherever we work, in the workplaces, the people and the students around us, and with every single thing that is connected with us, right? Because positivity brings success as well as joy. We shall just try to forget the past, the bitter experiences. We shall try to stay and feel good, and we shall try to be always grateful to each and everything we have. Yes, stress-free life. Due to many of factors in the institutions or wherever we work for, like it could be the bad classroom behavior, or say emphasis on test scores, safety concerns, stress and other related factors it is showing like tremendous pressure we are under as teachers especially. So positive thinking teachers, they react to all the difficult situations in a very, very different manner is what I believe. They try to face everything positively. So automatically one will be free of worries, and the solutions will definitely come to you on its own, right? So do not please let the negative thoughts dominate you. And no need to explain about this. You will have better physical as well as mental health. Good relationship with students as well as the institution. Yeah, we all would have heard the quote, your vibe attracts your tribe. So positive people, they are more likely to make a great impression and better impression. So people automatically they get attracted to those who are friendly, who try to produce some positive attitude everywhere they go. And we should try to surround ourselves with positive people. And as teachers, we should try to remain positive always. Yes, positivity attracts everything you want. What you think, you create. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you become. Right? So if you make positive thinking a habit, then you can attract all the good and great things into your life. So nobody can stop you from achieving it other than your own mindset. Okay. So relevance of positive teachers. Yes. Teachers, positive teachers especially, they have lots and lots of relevance. So for kids, they are the respectable role models of the society. They help in providing better understanding about a subject. They have tremendous amount of patience, and they definitely believe in hard work. They help each and every student to complete various diverse tasks. So they try to bring out hidden talents in each and every student at a very, very early age, because it's for kids. And it is again because of their positive thinking again. They try to correct the mistakes of their own as well as their students. So what is the relevance of positive teachers for school students? A positive teacher, he or she will employ, say, various skills and tactics. They try to bring a new and fresh experience to the classroom every day. And as positive teacher, he or she will set example for students even on tackling real life difficulties. They train their students, say, towards the goals, deadlines, not only the tests and exams, but they teach them the discipline. So in turn, the teacher also will gain valuable knowledge by interacting with students, because a positive teacher has an open mindset. So a good or a positive teacher, he or she is also a mentor, or sometimes they'll be the guardian for students. So teachers all over the globe, when we see, they have embraced the policies of positive self-growth as well as continuous self-assessment. Especially since pandemic, we have been noticing this. And what is the role of a positive teacher for higher class students or learners? So a positive teacher, he or she, they take up the responsibility of counseling the students. They try to provide proper advice and guidance with their positive mindset. They help the students understand how to deal with the critical conditions. Always they keep their students under watchful eyes so that they do not lose their focus. And the life of a child or a student, it is definitely molded by a teacher to a greater extent, is what I believe. Particularly with a persona of positivity, and students, they take decisions based on their advices only, because they are the ones who shape the lives and minds of students. And when we see, there is a massive shift in the post-pandemic era to digital, cyber, online learning methods, and positive teachers who have that mindset, they take an equal responsibility, even in the, whether it could be in the usage of technology, or whether it making the people educated in everything. Yes. I would like to say, so a positive teacher is an effective teacher. As I already said, whether an elementary or secondary school teacher, or even to the university level, see, what matters is your positive teaching mindset and the techniques what we use. It definitely has profound impact on the lives of all our students. So apart from the basic classroom management, content knowledge, or even having some people and organizational skills, judgment, professionalism, commitment, a very, very important trait of a teacher is positivity, is what I believe, right? I believe that with all that comes the other required characteristics also. It could be the strong communicative skills, showing empathy towards your students, reducing their anxieties, building their skills and confidence levels, or whether a paraprofessional or a teaching assistant, classroom teachers, school leaders, anybody, they'll focus on collaboration with their positive mindset. So they are definitely being adaptable, engaging, and they have lots and lots of patience to listen to their students, their problems, what is happening outside, how do they help their children, everything. And they give positive teachers give lots of importance to value in valuing the real world learning. They ensure that students get a plenty of positive classroom experience. They share best practices. It could be through GD, professional development, or even rewarding the learner participation, anything. And positive teachers, they are the lifelong learners. Yeah. To conclude, I just like to say one thing. See, there are also negatives of being too much positive, because at times it means that we are too unrealistic or unsustainable. Definitely annoying also at times. And with this exclusive positive light, sometimes we might lose some opportunities or some support from other different mindset people whom we meet and with whom we work. And with all this positive mindset, what will happen is we may ignore the blunders of others. So one thing we should not fail to notice, that teachers experiencing negative thoughts and feelings, they can also remarkably be empowering, inspiring, or mobilizing at times. But still, the positive characteristic of a teacher, it is what scores more. So
I think,
sorry, am I audible?
yeah. I think she got disconnected.
So any individual or teacher can
Yeah,
practice
you're
positive.
audible. You're audible. You're audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, perfectly all right. Please go ahead.
So sorry, there was some network problem. Right. So I was just concluding I was just giving the concluding remarks. Any individual or teacher, he or she can practice positivity by meditation or relaxing your minds. So daily we can repeat some positive affirmations or say statements like I'm happy, I'm content, or today is a good day, I'm grateful for everything I have, and so on. Right? And your body and mind, it will work together with these affirmations. So we all should purify our thoughts and fill it with positivity, optimism, as well as cheerfulness. Right. As a resource person, guest speaker or panelist, this is my 25th program. Apart from being a chairperson or a keynote speaker, I thank all the participants for your valuable time and patience. And my sincere thanks to Dr. Kumar Dutt Ganjre sir for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That's very decent and very positive presentation. You really deserve a round of applause. Great efforts you have taken. The next presentation is by Mr. Jaikar Sayyaraj on old high expectation for the success. Over to Jaikar sir. Your time limit is 5 to 10 minutes. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. And good evening and warm greetings to all of you. And I'm really glad at least to share with you one of the characteristics of an effective teacher. What we usually do it is, when we look at a teacher, we always think it is, it is a duty to teach, but behind a teacher, we have a lot of work goes on. No matter whether the teacher, he or she is a teacher of a school or a college or a certain, characteristic that makes a teacher. So one of the, characteristics we are going to look at today, it is the whole high expectation. What do I mean by that? So the most effective teacher will always they set no limits on the students, and they believe everyone can be successful. You hold a high expectation on the students, like on each and every student. You don't pick out one or two students, but it is on each and every one of them, of the students, whomever we have every single year. Now, from setting no limits means we believe them, we trust, and we just motivate them, we encourage them, we push them to achieve or to do the best they can. So what do I mean by this? So we hold the students to the highest standards, means we just push them to the highest standards. We believe in, trust in everyone, because we can even take our example, when we were student, how we were, there were the teachers whom taught us, from the kindergarten at least till the university, at least they trust, they found something in us. They trusted, they believed in us. So the same way, we are going to just constantly challenge the students to realize that potential. And it's, we teach about the growth mindset, it's not about, a stagnant mindset. It is about the growth, we have to keep growing. They have to keep moving forward. And we need to build the students' confidence as well. We have to teach them to believe in themselves. And we can be a role model, at least, that's what they look for. The students always look for someone, at least, whom they can imitate, whom they can just follow, at least, so that we can just stand up as a role model for them. We focus on the effort, not on, saying excellence, meaning we don't, saying it is, I don't want anyone to be excellent. No. But when we, look at each and every student, we just encourage them on the effort they put in now. So thereby, at least, we challenge them to do the best. We give them some examples. We show them a lot of examples during the sessions, and we tell them what we expect of them, what expectations we have of them and for them. One of the things we need to instill confidence in your students. If they have to do well, if you want our students to do the best, very best. So the first thing what we need to do is we need to instill confidence in our students. How do I do that? It is, we need to, first of all, make sure in our action, in our words, that we believe in them, we trust them. And even behind the back, at least, even when we talk to our colleagues, at least, we need to speak positively about those students. We never should put down, our students in front of others. So because when they may come to know about, what we talk, it is, that's why they usually say, all have ears. So we have to be very careful, how we, what way, at least, we try to instill the confidence in our students, and we need to develop and rapport with the students, by smiling, and we just encouraging them, we stand with them, because they observe us very, every moment of, our teaching, our, whatever we do in class, outside the class, they observe us. When we have to be a role model, we need to just make sure, how we, represent them, or how we talk about them. And also, we need to just make sure it is, we give them opportunities to contribute in class. It is not about I give lectures and I just move out, but I need to give them an opportunity to contribute, give a chance for everyone. Give a chance to voice their opinion. We can't just say, no, you are wrong. We can't put them down. So if I have to push them to do the best, we want them to, we want the students to express themselves in a positive environment, in an environment, friendly environment. They can just feel safe, not be condemned, so that they can just express themselves. They can voice whatever be the opinion, at least. We can never say that's why we usually say as language teachers, we always say no answer, it's wrong. It's okay. But, but we always at the end, at least we correct the mistakes. But when we give them an opportunity to contribute, when we give a chance for them to speak, we never, put them down in front of others. So that we have to be very careful, like so. And also we, as a teacher, we need to choose our words very carefully. Like every answer, every question and a directive has an impact on how your students see themselves and how they believe you see them. Because this is where it is very important, how they see themselves and how they believe you see them, how we see, through our eyes, because they are very, they want to hear from our own mouth. They want to hear at least, how we see them, at least how we trust them. If I say, for example, I don't have time for that right now, I don't have time for you right now, it gives a very negative feedback. So instead we can say, let us change the words, and we can even say, let me look at that when I can give it the time it deserves. That changes the entire thing, at least, so that's why we need to be very careful. At least we have to construct our words thoughtfully. We need to take time to craft our interactions purposefully, meanings we use our words to empower and encourage them, because if we have to bring out, because they are the next generation, so they are the one who is going to be the builder of the nation. So I need to empower them, I need to encourage them, we need to just motivate them to do the best. So how do I do that? By the words that we speak, because words have power. It can make a person or it can break a person. So the way we use, the words, it is very, that they'll also have the responsibility to bring the best, because when we show that we trust them, when we believe in them, they will also feel safe. They say they will. We had many moments in our childhood. We say someone believed, that teacher, that professor told me this about me. So that at least, that moments at least that made us, go further. Like we never stopped, at least we just, went further because of the words that were spoken into our lives. So one of the things, we also need to focus, it is like the growth mindset. At least, as a teacher, we need to have a growth mindset. Like it is, I need to always have a mindset saying I want to see my students grow. I want to see my students progress. So I need to make a plan and I want to involve the students in it. I can't do it alone. So I need the students to come into that plan. And I want them to just get involved in each and every activity that we do. So we can even, one of the ways we can even do that, we can even ask the students to even explain where they have started and where they are right now. So in that way, they will also be able to see their growth, at least the progress they have made, and whenever we do some activities, whatever we do, but we need to choose to celebrate the growth. And we need to, we need to appreciate where they have started, and how they have started and how much progress they have made. No matter how slow the progress is, but we need to appreciate the fact that at least they were able to make progress. Very little or even big, progress doesn't matter, but every step that they take should be appreciated. And also we need that, one of the things, if I have to push our students to the, to do the best, I need to focus on the big picture. So it is not about what I, teach, but I have to look at what is the core of my lessons. What is the expectations, at least, am I focusing on right now, this moment? Or am I looking at the big picture, what is going to do, what is going to help them in the long run? So that we have to take it as we have to find out the takeaways of our teaching. So we have to see what is the long run or what is the big picture in that. So one of the ways we can even do it is we can even challenge ourselves, so learn to work through something very difficult. The things we usually, if it is difficult, we usually push it aside. But, if I have to challenge myself as a teacher, so I need to just take what are the things that are difficult. I need to just work on that. Or I need to, immerse myself in a topic that I feel very uncomfortable. So that way, at least I challenge myself, I push myself to go further. So whatever I do to myself, it will reflect on my students naturally. So I will do it on the students. So because we have, an opportunity every single day, every teacher has an opportunity every single day to get a little mind to believe in itself, meaning we use this power to create a self-trust in students, a faith that there will be a change, there will be a growth, and there is endless potential, and set the standard for yourself. So as a teachers, we need to set a standard for ourselves, and then when I can do that, then I can just set a standard for them. So we can ask them to just raise the standard every time, because there is potential is endless. There is no way, at least, we can never, before they used to say like sky is the limit, but nowadays, at least, we can even, it is not the limit. They can go higher, because we never know, because every student has a potential, a great potential, hidden potential, so one of the last things, say we have this potential, how do I bring it out? We just by making it known to the students that we believe in them, we trust them. And as I say, we need to just set the standard for ourselves, and also we have to just set a standard for them and ask them to push further, ask them to just go a little higher. If they have tried something and they should not get content with what they have done, they have to say okay, you can try a little more. Okay, why don't you look at different possibilities? What are the different ways of solving this? What are the different approaches you can have? Because one of the great saying, it is a philosophy, they say I exist because I think. So the more the students think, the more they recognize, or they understand what they are, what they can do, they can always do far better than before, better than what they think it is they can do. They can always push themselves every single day.
You're absolutely right, sir.
So these are some of the things these are some of the things we can do to so that we hold high expectation of each and every student that comes to us, and this is, we can make a small difference in their lives. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Just a single call on WhatsApp group we have prepared very well and presented very well. So thank you very much. I'm feeling really proud of you. Thank you, sir. The next presentation will be done by Professor Vijay Parthasarathi on creativity, resourceful, and inventive. Over to Vijay, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Am I audible, sir? Am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. The time limit is 5 minutes.
Screen visible, sir?
Yeah. The time limit
Is
is
my screen visible? Okay. Okay. Thank you. A very good evening to all. It is the supreme art of a teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Respected Dr. Kumar Kandaresu, Managing Director, Best Fedgerex, and other Vice President, Secretary, Chief Executive Committee members, and the speakers of the day, my warm welcome to all. First of all, I would like to place on record my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Kumar sir for this opportunity given to me. I would like to appreciate his innovative idea to conduct this international seminar on characteristics of an effective teacher to insist the importance of the teachers to this ever-changing world. Thank you, sir. Out of 12 characteristics of an effective teacher by Robert, I have chosen the creative, resourceful, and innovative characteristics. Creativity is the ability to develop something original, particularly an idea or a representation of an idea. Innovation requires creativity, but innovation is more specifically the application of creativity. Innovation is the manifestation of creativity. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and insist the love of learning. If a teacher has the ability of the creativity, he or she may possesses all the characteristics. So I have chosen this topic. Let us see what is creativity. thinking creatively is one of the toughest skills to acquire and also one of the most desirable one. There are many aspects of our lives that rely on it, including music, entertainment, technology, and other aspects. The truth is that we appreciate and yearn for it because it enriches our understanding and makes life easier. What is the next decade? Sorry. Okay. What does the next actually we have to see about what does the next decade hold with the creativity at the crux of innovation? The traditional method of rote learning and standardized testing has inherent benefits. However, the next generation will need more abstract and interchangeable skills, caring for the environment, that is climate change, as well as keeping up with the global digital revolution. In this generation, our little ones will need to face the toughest issues they could overcome by thinking in creative ways with the challenges to impossibilities. The teacher is, we know the role of the teacher. The teacher is not only a teacher, he or she also a coach and mentor to students. Academic goals are shaped by them, and they are and of course they are determined to help students to achieve them. So we know it very well. And here what we are going to see is that can you learn creativity or are you born with it? See, of course, many resource persons have been speaking about it. That is by encouraging and praising innovative thinking in the classroom, students can build confidence. So here I'm going to say whether it is learned or whether it is an inborn characteristics. Friends, creativity is not inborn characteristics. It can be cultivated. Friends, we may know that there is a bullet train in Japan, which is the fastest train. But this famous bullet train used to make a loud boom when it traveled through tunnels. Why it was so? Because the air was building up in front of the train. The speed was about 300 kilometers an hour. The sound was waking up people who were nearby and it disturbed the wildlife also. So they decided to overcome this issue. Many engineers applied various strategies but could not find the solution. But one of the engineers was a bird watcher, not bad watcher. He is a bird watcher. He had witnessed a kingfisher bird diving down through the air, going into. Let's see, excuse me. I want to show the picture. So diving down through the air, going into the water to catch its food, that is a fish, and creating very, very little splash. He got an idea. He had thought that why don't we apply this principle to shape of the front of the bullet train? Finally, they modeled the train like the kingfisher piece. See the picture, and you may understand. It has a pointy part to it, just like the beak of the kingfisher. Nature hides many secrets to support us. Ideas from nature help to solve many human problems. See here, I have given you a mirrors display. This display uses microscopic reflective units similar to those in the colorful wings of butterflies. Biological features from animals may give new ways to treat diseases. And next, let us see some. I am going to give you some examples for the students to learn creativity. Okay, see here, we may use brainstorm, and we may use the technologies and get out of the classroom. We may use puzzles, games, and etc. etc. See, to brainstorm is to think about and try to come up with ideas or solution to a problem, either on your own or in a group. And for mind maps, we have to create a central idea. Here I have given a sense organs. Okay, the central idea is starting point of our mind map and represents the topic which we are going to explore. Add branches to the map, add keywords and color code your branches, and we can use some visual signifiers also. When you see about a role play gives exercises, give students the opportunity to assume the role of a person or act out a given situation. These roles can be performed by individual or in pairs or in groups, which can play out a more complex scenario. Okay, Here, is it possible to practice the creativity? Yes, I'm going to give some examples. We may practice creativity through one of the basic exercises, which is known as fantasizing. Fantasizing can be done by all of us. It depends on how much we are able to come up with some innovative ideas. Okay, this is a small request to teachers. Teachers can instruct the students to practice. Ask them to take a notebook or a pencil or pen. You ask them to write about any object. For example, you may take this mobile. Other than using this mobile as a mobile, what all can we do with this mobile? This is the question you have to ask. Students are not allowed to use this mobile as mobile because what we can do with this mobile is a logical. That is the left brain job. It already knows what all it can be done. Here the right brain should be activated and think about what can be done with the object given other than what it is meant for. One student may come up with the answer, ma'am, I may use this as tray and bring some coffee and biscuits. Yes, very good. You should appreciate him. In this way, children come up with a numerous idea that could be stupid or silly. Teachers should encourage them. The next day, for some other object, they have to write what can do with this object other than what it is meant for. In this way, we do practice continuously, even it is distracted in the middle. 1 or 2 days, it could be distracted, but we have to practice. We make the students to practice it. Allow the students to think as foolish as possible because the result is called creativity. Not every creative idea will be a success, but that doesn't mean it was not useful or valuable. In fact, some early mistakes have served as the basis for some pretty great things later on. So we know about Isaac Newton and many scientists we know. So analyze and work through the mistakes instead of treating them as failures. Slowly start taking some real life situations also. This is otherwise known as case study. We have had the experience on case studies. If I am Prime Minister and I had to execute some major solution for an issue, how my execution would have been different. Finding solutions in a different way is creative. I may say that creativity, innovative ideas originated from home itself. If you ask the women about food management within a time frame, money management in a crucial period, they would say a lot of stories. No wonder they are very innovative solutions. We should allow the children to children to open open to new ideas, even if they seem strange at first. We may encourage the children by rewarding and praising them who think creatively. Even if you don't necessarily like or agree with their ideas, that is not at all an important one. So we have to encourage them. And of course, use of technology. And everyone said in the previous presentations, technology is an amazing tool for boosting creativity. It can be used to find ideas, brainstorm, and even create final products. The possibilities are endless. So don't count it out when working on creativity. And we may use Pinterest. Pinterest is a great place to collect ideas for the classroom and to connect with other teachers. With the millions of pins out there, you are sure to find something that inspires creative spark, definitely. And we have to share our creative spirit, help others around us to find their own inner creative drive by sharing ideas and enthusiasm with our colleagues. This is what our Kumar is doing. And we are assembling here to share our ideas. And we have to join the conversation. And we have to use Twitter, chat rooms, forums, and other online resources to get involved in some great conversation about creativity in the classroom. You can learn and share your own experiences. We have to share our own work. By sharing our own work, we can make the students conscious or attractive. And we have to show the students that our value creativity by sharing our own creative works, whether poems, songs, paintings, dance, exercises, whatever takes our fancy. Because I used to do whatever the things I'm saying here In the classroom, I used to do the exercise when some students are actually in my class, students have been asking me that, ma'am, how you were very, very active throughout the day. How was it possible? I just smiled at them and gone away, but they are rushed me to say the answer. So one day I did the exercise in front of the students that I used to do Surya Namaskars. So I did with in the presence of the students. They are very, very happy and they are clapped. Of course, they wanted to practice it in their life. So this is, we have to be role model, how to follow the students. So we have to try new things regularly, give our creativity a boost and learn something new in the process by trying something new, just because it will keep you on your toes and keep your brain sharp. And we have to read the books.
Yes, ma'am.
There is a lot to learn about creativity, and one great place to start is in books on the subject. There are a number of great reads out there. So pick one up and start learning. And so I want to conclude it by saying that it is a responsibility of teachers to inculcate the practice of creativity with academic skills. And okay, so actually the world is full of opportunities. It is budding with ideas that have the potential to change the world in we inhibit. See here, this is future innovations. These are all future innovations. So here I have shown you the edible water blocks, helium balloons that travel to space, and autonomous cores, 3D printing, and more. So we have to support the students to be creative. Thank you, sir.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. Can we move to conclusion?
Sir?
Can we move to conclusion?
Yes, sir. That's why I'm telling you that. Yeah, this is the most important thing that we have to inculcate the practice, creativity practice to the students. So definitely, it is the responsibility of the teachers. In which, so concluding, by conclude this, I'm saying that it is the responsibility of the teachers to inculcate the practice of creativity with academic skills. It is the responsibility of teachers only. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a very powerful presentation what was seen, and really feeling proud that yes, on the eve of Teachers' Day, we are finding such a good presentations, which helps to build our knowledge. Thank you very much on the behalf of the entire team. The next presentation is from Dr. Priya Trivedi on two topics. One is the handle students and grading fairly, and the second topic she has accepted is admit mistake and focus on improvements. Priya ma'am, are you there?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, over to you.
First, I should go with the first topic, sir.
Yeah, and followed by the second, but within 10 minutes you have to finish both the topics. Yeah, ma'am. Please.
As you wish, sir. I can continue with the both or can have a second session after a time because many of my respected teachers will be waiting for me for their chance. Na? So I'll take afterward. Be in a line.
Yeah.
So it is visible. So may I start? The slide is visible.
Yeah.
Visible. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening to one and all. Today I have taken a responsibility to elaborate the two topics. First, I will go with the first characteristic 5, handle the students and grading fairly. As you all know that the grading is a challenging process. It's no surprise that they are the source of anxiety for the students. And so it's a stressful process for the instruction, and it is the responsibility of every teacher to make it fairly. Planning your grading process will help to prevent you from becoming the overwhelmed by the amount of grading to be done. Secondly, grading fairly and consistently will help you both provide useful feedback for your students, because it is very important to get a positive feedback from the students. And it also will help in minimizing the students' grading complaints, because continuously complaints will affect your teaching. So it's very important while grading, it take into the consideration of the students. Effective grading provides the accurate information to the students about their performance. So it's really a large responsibility, major responsibility of the teachers to be fair, and also help them, the students, what they can improve on. Because whatever the grading, on what part you are taking the grades, it is very important for the students to take that improvement and do the improvement. In addition to providing information on their performance, because whatever the grading the teacher is giving, it is giving on the basis of the performance. So one should be very fair for the same. This means that all the work should be assessed based on the defined criteria. Criteria should be made while grading the students. And the most important is that treated equally, because unless and until you treat equal all the students, your grading will not be accurate. So I have taken up 4 points to explain how we can do it in a proper way. First of all, the teachers should make all the students equal opportunity, should give equal opportunity and privilege. Apart from their race, culture, gender, religion, immigration status, individual experience, it doesn't matter when the teacher is in the class, because the main factor is that all the students for the teachers should be equal, and this will affect the learning also, this will enhance the learning also. And this, as our my colleagues also said, that the potential, the students potential will be come out by the equal opportunities and the privilege which we are going to give. Paying attention to the needs of the students from the diverse group. Yes, because the people, as we all know that the India is the unity in diversity. We all are coming from the different groups, religious. So we have to take a mind while grading the system, while grading the students. It should be designed in a same way. Equality analysis, impact assessment should be there. According to that only, standards of conduct should be there. Identifying the opportunities, which students want the opportunity to enhance his knowledge. It is very important for grading the system. Devising the creative and respective way is the priority of the students. Second, for the teachers. Second, handling students. While we are handling the students in the class, it is very important that there should be the strong bonding between the teachers and the students. Unless and until you have a strong bonding, you will never be managed classroom environment. So it is very important to maintain a healthy environment for the students, so that they can share more and more things with you. Maybe many a time will it happens they are emotionally distracted, or emotionally they are hurt by something. So you have to personally go and touch, emotionally attachment you have to create with the students to handle the students. You have to make a different methods of the teaching while you are teaching, or same method, same scenario in the classes. It's make boring the classes. So it is very important कि हमको बच्चों की तरह बच्चों के साथ रहना पड़ेगा. That is very important. Yes, there are the many students which are the backbenchers. They are always creating the nuisance. They have something new in their minds to distract the class. But APJ Abdul Kalam said that the best brains of the nation may be found on the last benches of the classroom, and it is very important. And we have to take in the consideration when we are a good teachers. Now, the second point is provide the clear requirements for the class. Yes, when you are moving to the class, it is very important ki what are your preparation before the class, during the class, and after the classes, because that will decide ki what the students have taken from a teacher. So make the plannings according to that. Create a realistic timelines. Plan your lessons, which is very important. During the class also, engage all the students, take activities which can increase the grading, and you can handle the student as well. And after the class also, it is a responsibility of teacher to reflect on what the work done by the students, and on what criteria you are going to grade the students. Lesson planning is an important part of every teacher when he is going. And there are the 4 things she or he has to be managed while he is taking the class: goals, actions, demonstrate learning, and environment. Because unless and until you create a good learning environment, students will not motivate. And if students are not motivated by your class, their grading systems will be discarded, and that will be affected your teaching. Second, I recognize that fair doesn't necessarily mean treating everyone the same, but means giving every student an opportunity to succeed. This is very important part, and you can understand by this picture that there are the different type of students with different race, religions, and their activities, their minds, as already discussed by many of my respected teachers. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. And this is the criteria of the NEP 2020 also. The creativity we have to put, and please climb the tree. And that is the task we will give to the every students. It doesn't matter if, from where the students are coming and what the ability of the understanding is there. But you have to understand accordingly, and you have to set the paper accordingly, because in the class there are the different types of the students learning. Next point is understand that not all the students learn in the same way and at the same rate. This is very important. So you have to take a different activities, different modulations, different themes to understand the students, to make them understand the chapters, lessons, whatever the task you have given in the class, because you have taken the responsibility of the teaching and to teach the students in a better way. Last but not the least, one child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's very beautiful presentation. And definitely people will adopt it and implement at their level. The next resource person is Mr. Abdul Dayal, sir. Abdul Dayal, welcome. And the topic he allotted is the display of personal touch and approachable. Teacher should be always approachable. Yeah, over to you, sir. Abdul.
Thank you, sir, and good evening to everyone. I'm not sharing any presentation today, so I'm sharing my video. But jokes apart, the topic is so interesting. Developing a personal bond and being approachable to the students, very crucial. I'll share a few of my experiences, what I'm doing at the moment. I work in a university, and as a teacher or as a trainer, I don't teach. Simply because we keep talking about the new education policy or outcome-based education. The focus is on the student. It is student-centric, learner-centric. What do we do to develop a personal bond that breaks the ice? PPTs, what I read, are no longer popular. We keep talking about think out of the box. So I try to practice what I teach. First of all, I try to remember the first names of the students. Take their birth dates. On their birth dates, wish them. They may not learn everything I teach, but they will definitely remember that I wish them. Attend their events outside the beyond the study hours. For example, tomorrow is Teachers' Day and a lot of events are planned. I'll try to attend most of them. Not only that my university is owned by a Jan family. And the Jain festival is happening right now, 31st August to 10th September. Every day there is a cultural program in the evening in the university auditorium. In fact, after this webinar, I'll be leaving straight for the university auditorium. And I'm sure the students will be happy to see me. Simply because they'll remember I saw their performance on the stage. In the class, yes, talk to everybody, don't ignore anyone, don't isolate anyone. Share your experiences which relate to them. Add a lot of humor. The humor has to be as per their age. For example, when we do the group discussion exercises, practice session, we give them simple topics: school life versus college life, love marriage versus arranged marriage. Everybody gets involved. Everybody gets involved. You're gradually breaking the ice. And it works because I'm doing this day in, day out. As second parents to them, or as a mentor, or as a guide, or as a coach, they look upon the teachers as a role model. Now it is perceived that we know more than them. So what I do is I go down to their level and gradually we both rise. We both rise and rise. And the semester is over. The analysis done by external experts shows in the results. Try to speak to them regularly. Try to explore their hidden talents. That really gets them working and they open out. And now, thanks to social media, students, of course, I keep a time limit before 11 p.m. They can approach me on WhatsApp or call me. Nothing beyond 11 p.m. So they like that disciplined approach. So these are the various factors which I try to do, and the students respond also positively. There are various exercises. Ask them to share a secret which they have not shared till now. Once they smile and do that, you're developing a personal bond and you have evidence in front of you. So a lot of these things work very positively. I'm sure all of you are doing many other things. But once the personal bond is established, strengthened, learning becomes very easy, not only in the soft skills domain, even in the hard skills that they're doing in their graduation course. So this is all I had to say at the moment. Thank you for listening me out. And good evening to everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a very, very experienced talk from you on the behalf of express and gratitude. The next resource person is Mr. Johnson George on cultivate a sense of belongingness. Go to Johnson.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yeah, audible and screen is also.
Screen is visible. Good evening to all. Thank you for inviting me on this panel to be a resource speaker. Thank you, Dr. Kumardat. Very good initiative. And wishing all the teachers on the in the panel here. Happy Teachers Day in advance. My name is Johnson George, and I'm going to speak about the seventh characteristic that Robert Walker described, that is the cultivating a sense of belonging as one of the characteristics of an effective teacher. And this topic is very, very important in the sense that the sense of belonging cannot be taught outside the school. As a corporate trainer, I do train on soft skills. And one of the areas that I train very, very often in many organizations, hospitals or any industry, is a behavioral correction based on diversity and inclusion. And today the United Nations and all other countries have taken this topic as most crucial for the success of any organization. And this begins in the school, because they are under the care in their formative years. Okay, and they look upon the teachers as the model and the authority figures. Sure, you'll agree with me on that. And as Robert Walker put it into 2 points, and I'll expand this subsequently. He says that the most effective teachers have a way of making students feel welcome, feel comfortable in their classrooms, and that's most important. Students repeatedly mentioned that they felt as though they belonged in classrooms taught by effective teachers. And the students knew that they had a good teacher who loved teaching and preferred it to other occupations. So I've taken up some of the studies by Kelly Ann on how to boost students of belongingness in a school. How strongly a student feels like they belong at their school can actually shape their life, and shape their life well into adulthood. That's a big problem today in most of the corporate areas. So how can teachers and schools help students feel like they belong? So let's look at a couple of strategies as we move along. Friends, belonging is a fundamental human need wherever you go. Learners also need that kind of belonging, that feeling of belonging. Yet, unfortunately, research says 1 in 4 students around the world do not feel a sense of belonging to their school. And the numbers are sadly, steadily increasing. The impact of this can be huge, not just on a student's academic achievements, but on their overall well-being as adolescents and later as adults. With the rate of mental illness, disconnection, social isolation, and loneliness among young people rising steadily, and you can look at a lot of incidents that are happening in the news today. Fostering a sense of belonging at school, right from the kindergarten, nursery level, may help provide a critical solution to a complex social problem later. Kathleen Ethier, so the director of Adolescent and School Health Center for Disease Control in the United States, she puts it that the work that we do in school, particularly in terms of making students feel more connected, feel safer, feel like the adults around them care for them, about them, and want to see them succeed. All of these factors, all of these individual factors has impacts well into their adulthood. So we see belonging starts at school and starts with teachers. So the importance of school belonging. Let's look at a couple of points here. A sense of belonging at school can support students through a particularly vulnerable time when they are forming their identity, when they are developing psychosocial skills and being influenced by their peers. This is their formative years, like I told you earlier. It can also shape their future interactions, their future relationships and achievements, and their ability to function and adjust on a psychosocial level well into adulthood. Research shows feeling like you belong at school is linked to higher levels of student emotional and physical well-being, and therefore better academic performance and achievement. It is positively associated with optimism, self-efficacy, self-esteem, self-concept, and sociability. It can reduce the likelihood of mental health problems, promote resilience when mental health difficulties arise, and reduce suicidal thoughts and behavior. So what are the effects of a lack of belonging? Students who feel that they do not belong to their school are more likely to miss school. So you have absenteeism. It can reduce the likelihood of mental health problems, promote resilience when mental health difficulties arise. They behave in ways that are not congruent with successful academic outcomes. They leave school early, the dropouts, and are at greater risk of school-based violence. I'm sure many of you may have experienced this and have seen in the news about such violences. They are also more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and have suicidal thoughts. A low sense of attachment to schools can also increase the academic achievement gap, particularly for the most vulnerable students, including indigenous students, different castes, students from low socioeconomic backgrounds, etc. Students lacking a sense of belonging are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. So how do we help students feel greater connection to their school? Most schools value and prioritize a sense of belonging within their community and want their students to feel connected to their school. However, there have been few opportunities for schools to access focused interventions and strategies to help maintain and increase the student belonging. There is no one strategy or intervention that fosters school belongingness in students. It is unique and individual and can occur in multiple ways within a school. Here's where creativity comes about. Schools should tackle belonging using a whole school approach that incorporates a range of measures that help to build collaborative and inclusive communities for learning and for belonging. So let's look at a few strategies. First one is to encourage positive relationships with teachers and school staff. Students should be encouraged to have at least one supportive adult within their school environment, someone who they know, like, and have a safe, mutually respectful, and supportive relationship with. Some of the schools have counselors for this. Not just academic support, but emotional support as well. Very much needed today. The relationships students have at school are important. Students build relationships with all school staff and sometimes have more regular contact with staff who don't teach in the classroom. And you know who all they are. They could be. Could be a librarian. It could be a peon. It could be a counselor, anyone. Create a positive peer culture of belonging. The second point. Peer groups matter for them. A sense of belonging towards school or even not belonging towards school can be contagious. Schools that have students with high sense of belonging create a school culture where a sense of school belonging is the norm. They offer school sanctioned activities and events that promote the school's ethos and values, and these usually are well attended. Schools need supportive leaders that can clearly communicate the value in school belonging. They should have policies that promote inclusive school environments as places to belong. Expectations of behaviors that foster a sense of belonging for others should run alongside other school-based expectations of behavior. Teaching such behaviors from the day that the students start school, right from nursery, is very, very, very important and crucial. Teaching students social and emotional skills can also contribute to a culture of belonging. Such skills allow students to develop and grow skills that foster a sense of belonging for self and others at school. So therefore, schools should have policies that promote inclusive school environments as places to belong. The third one is value learning. Students with a high sense of school belonging value learning, are highly motivated academically, and can see the importance and value in what they learn. Teachers can help this process by ensuring they are emphasizing the importance and purpose of the material they present to students. Have reasonable and appropriate academic expectations of students within their care, and have self-efficacy, confidence, and passion towards the content they are teaching. The fourth step is to take proactive steps towards mental health. Sorry. All school staff should consider professional development that provides them with the skills to be preventative and responsive to the mental health and well-being needs of the students. Staff should have basic skills to identify problems as they arise and know appropriate referral pathways. Here, relationships are the key. If school staff genuinely know students as individuals, they are more equipped to detect minor nuances that could indicate problems may be occurring, something like an early warning system, such as absence in class or changes in behavior. Proactive and preventative steps can be put in place before bigger problems emerge. And the fifth one is don't neglect the parents and guardians. Parents have an important role in school communities. However, their perceptions of school and education and how they value and support their child's educational experience have a big influence on their children's attitudes and beliefs about the school. A parent who values education, sees education as an opportunity for successful outcomes and values, and respects school culture and the rules, is more likely to have a child who feels a sense of school belonging, compared to a parent that grumbles about the school, had a bad school experience themselves, and constantly expressed a dislike towards schools. So therefore, schools should communicate to parents that a sense of school belonging is important. Now, quickly to summarize what I just covered, a sense of belonging is a basic human need, just like the need for food and shelter. It enables the ability to see value in life and to cope with challenges. A sense of belonging makes us feel like there is a community behind us. It can make us feel relaxed and receptive and motivated. A sense of belonging, like so many other non-academic and contextual factors, such as integrity, has a huge impact on classroom learning. Research has unveiled that a sense of belonging is core to academic success. And teachers need to pay attention and make sure our classrooms are inclusive in order to support learning. A sense of belonging is important in our diverse classrooms where students come from all walks of life, backgrounds, experiences. And while we are different, we are also equal and deserving of inclusion and respect. We want to give students a safe and supportive space that enables learning. Bottom line, we all belong. And finally, I wanted to quickly talk about a survey that was done in 2017 by Education Week. And the survey was conducted of 528 educators in the United States. And they said 41% say it is challenging or very challenging to make their students feel like they belong in the classroom. So it's a challenge, particularly when it comes to concerns students experience that include their sexual orientation, their gender, their race, their socioeconomic, ethnic, and disability identities. 80% of those surveyed said that they thought a sense of belonging in the classroom is important for student success, highlighting how integral teachers are to building a positive learning environment and a school culture. And 49% said they need help to find helpful strategies. And therefore, as a community together, we need to build such strategies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Very effective and well-prepared presentation. We really admire your efforts. Thank you very much. The next presentation will be delivered by Baiju Thomas on sensitivity and compassion for. Over to you, Baiju, sir. Just
Okay.
a request because of the short of the time, just finish in 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Okay, sir. Good evening to all of you. On the eve of the Teachers' Day, I wish you all advance a happy Teachers' Day. And also I thank our Kumar Dutt sir for giving me a chance to present my ideas on sensitivity and compassion for students. Myself, Father Baiju, I am a research scholar doing my PhD in Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Educational Research Institute, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Compassion, as we know that it is a quality every teacher should have in order to have compassion, means kindness and considering other people as they are needed. When we are teaching the children, we have to face different type of children, those who are good in studies and those who are poor in studies. So we need to help them. We need to have kindness to them, to know their needs, sensitivity that we should create. What is compassion? It is a human quality in which a person understands and identifies with the suffering of another. So the person is identifying with other person, his suffering, his problem, his stress. So whatever capacity he can help that person. The same way that teacher, how the teacher can help the students when they are weak in studies or they have some needs. So we have to look into to show a sense of compassion, kindness to the children. Compassion is not about solution. It is about giving all the love, care, and empathy to the person. Compassion strengthens to a teacher to be a communication with the children, the students. And also it makes the teacher competitive. And also it allows such a teacher to engage with the students and their teaching. And also creates a interpersonal relationship. And also it cultivates empathy towards the children. And also makes a connection. And also it helps to have self-care of oneself and to make a good character in children. Compassion, it is a principle which says about when a child is in stress or in a problem. The first thing is to approach teaching with care and compassion. And the second thing, keep calm. Students will look for a leadership in you. How you are taking the leadership. That is a very important thing. And third thing is be transparent with the children. Be with them. And a model and a communication and a time manager, how you are managing the time with the children, with the teaching. Then keep it very simple where you have to teach the children to make them understand and be conscious about the disadvantage of the child, his inabilities, his whatever problem is the child is having, and how we can help them. That's knowing the problem of the child. And you and your course are a community. You are not alone. You are with a community, with the teachers, with other. So your school is a community. Their teachers are the students are the other staff members. So you are in a community and all will be helping together going ahead. That's then compassion. Compassion is recognizing suffering and doing something about it. When they are suffering, when they have a problem, and what you are going to do, making the actions. And it will make you to be courageous to face the problem, what the problem the child is having and the people are having. And you are the person, one who have to take the initiative, be courageous, and also do the justice, whatever justice you can do to that person, you can do. And whatever wisdom you have, that with that wisdom, you have to make the problems to be come out. And happiness, make the person, one who is unhappy, make them happy with your words, kind words, your smile. Yes, smile will make that child or person will a good person to a happy day. And also other thing is resilience. When you are in a problem, we should be resilient to learn from a challenge, how to come out, how to overcome that problem. That is a resilience. Then teachers as compassionate leadership. How? Compassion is a quality of having positive intention, a real connection with others. Compassion is a leadership, creates stronger connection with the people. It improves collaboration, trust, and enhances our loyalty. Then in addition, studies found that compassionate leaders are perceived as strong and more competent people. When they have compassion, they have created compassion in their leadership, then they are very competent person, very strong person. As a tragedy and hardship of our current contest unfolded, companies are awakened to a greater value in caring about people's well-being when we are in school or company. So it is the authority to take care of the person, one who is working for us. Even more important, we have trained the leaders of global organizations how to implement the compassion leadership. We should make the children to how to make a leadership in the global. And through this work, we have discovered key competent compassionate leadership, something most other experts look. So now we have the characteristics of a leadership. What are the characteristics? First thing is learning. Compassionate leaders understand that no matter how great they think they are still surrounded by other intelligent people around them. So we have to take the ideas from other people and become an effective learner. And also, when we are teaching the children, we are also a learner. We also learn and also we teach them effectively. Then removing the barriers. The compassionate leader is the one who removes the barriers which are encountering when we are teaching in the school. There will be many barriers. So we have to remove all the barriers in the community, in the pattern, or in the infrastructure. Anyway, the barriers we have to remove. That is the main duty or responsibility of the leader, a teacher, a compassionate teacher. Then comes the patterns. Compassionate leaders are lead with others, make room for selfish, the term lead. Greed has no place to popper when selfishness is not part of the program. The leaders leave with the attitude of abundance, prefer the team members and rather than what the team members are. So compassionate leaders make no room for pessimism. So the challenges when he face, we have to face it with our compassion. Okay. Then standards. We need to keep some standards. Standards means ethics. We should have some ethics in our teaching, our learning, everything. We should have some ethics. So these ethics building blocks upon which success of any kind based. So whatever ethics we are, we do not leave the ethics in our life. That is very important in our life. Then comes the influence. Compassionate leaders are very influential persons. They influence the children when their leadership is there in the school or in the class. So their way of teaching, their way of looking at the things and their talents and how they are dealing with the children, how they are teaching, this all will impact on them, their influence in the children. That is very important. Then comes the passion. Compassionate leaders understand that the people who are drive want to part of something meaningful and influential. So these leaders hold a deep concern for how their team members feel, what they are getting, and how they are experience their work experience, their classroom experience. So they go with the team. They do all they can inspire the team members. Then comes the team. So compassionate leaders hold a wisdom that great things in their life, business are never accomplished by one person. So it is a teamwork in a classroom. The students, they come together, they together work, or the other teachers, all school together. It is a teamwork. So compassion leader is a team worker. And for the team succeed, they need to leaders who support, guide them to stay focused, especially when they have problem, the children have problem. So the all other members also, all together they help. That's a compassionate leader. So Andrew Petrons say that compassion and education cultivate compassionate children, school and communities. When we add compassion in our education, so we can bring the children also a compassionate person, because in the today's the situation, the world, we need more compassionate person, sensitive to the needs of the world. Compassionate schools, the heart of learning and teaching. When our school become a compassionate instrument or a place where the school learning will be the heart of learning and teaching will become. I am concluding. Don't tell me you have compassion if you don't feel exactly the same way the people suffering in front of you. Don't tell me you have compassion if you don't step away from life and other help in any way possible. Don't tell me you have compassion if you can't pray for others with the same intensity and humility as you would for yourself. Don't tell me you have compassion if you can sleep at night knowing how processly the world bleeds. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Really, we enjoyed it. You prepared a very well presentation. I think you have spent a number of hours to prepare this presentation. We appreciate your efforts as well as
Thank
your
you, sir.
time.
Thank you, sir.
The next presentation will be done by Dr. Sudhakar Raj Nadar sir on the topic have a sense of humor, make learning a fun. Over to you, Dr. Sudhakar.
Good evening, sir. I just want to apologize. Can we ask another person to speak because of this Ganesh Chaturthi, little noise. So it will get low after 10 minutes. In meanwhile, we can have another session. Because it will take at least 10 minutes for these people to move now.
The next presentation will be done by Dr. Atul Kumar on the topic give the respect and get the respect. Atul sir, are you there? Dr. Atul Kumar. I think he's not available. So we'll move to the next.
Sir, if I'm audible, can I start then? Am I audible to everyone?
You are audible, but there is very high level of noise.
So, okay, I will take it then after 10 minutes.
Then we have Dr. P. Indira Priyadarshini ma'am with us. She can talk about forgiveness and do not hold grudges with the students or the teaching community or Dr.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Because of some technical glitch, I'm not able to present my slides. I'm just talking without any slides. So good evening to all the gurus present here. I, Ms. B. Indira Priyadarshini, Assistant Professor in Business Management and IQAC member of St. Anne's College for Women, Mehdipatnam, Hyderabad. I would like to thank Dr. Kumar Dutt sir for giving this wonderful opportunity to talk about one of the characteristics of an effective teacher, forgiveness and do not hold grudges. Firstly, I wish all my gurus in the life till today and all the gurus of this seminar a very happy Teachers' Day. I would like to start my speech with a say, teaching is a very noble profession that shapes the character, caliber, and future of an individual. If people remember me as a teacher, that will be the biggest honor for me. Quoted by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Coming to the actual point, I believe that forgiveness is one of the key educational leadership attributes. All students in their young age, they will make some mistakes from time to time. So they are young and still learning lots of new things through their errors. So as an educational leader, I believe that as a teachers and educational leaders, we are needed to ensure that we are forgiving when students make mistakes so that problems can be solved easier. Research also has shown that forgiveness is associated with higher levels of attachment, security, and empathy. So teaching forgiveness among students also helps to build social emotional learning and character. So there are few reasons to agree on a point why forgiveness is a key leadership attribute. So the first reason is students can learn from their mistakes. It's true. Why? Because when a student makes a mistake or misbehaves in the class, instead of letting them, instead of getting mad by the teachers and not letting them forget it, use it as a learning experience. So we should teach that mistakes can be fixed and that we can also move forward in life if we learn from that mistakes. So we forgive the students when they do something wrong, then they will be able to see the positives out of the mistakes rather than only the negatives. So this also might help the students to learn better how they can do the right things in a right way. And the second reason is the mistakes, whenever they do the mistakes, that will teach them to be forgiving in their own lives. First, we should make them learn how to forgive in their own lives and then forgive the others. So the way we treat the students as a teachers greatly affect how they treat others. So so everyone believe that teachers are the second parents to the children. So most of the time in the daytime, they are going to spend with the teacher either in the school or college or any of the institutions. So as a second parent, we also should make the students feel like they are more comfortable with us to tell their problems, issues, and also we should treat them in a better way so that they learn from us and they also follow us. We are only the inspiring people for the students. So how we behave, how we treat the students, that is what they also treat others. So if we show the students that is okay to forgive and let things go, then they will likely have a kinder and more giving attitude in the future. So react to their mistakes the same way that would like them to react to the mistakes of others also. If they do not learn to be forgiving, then the students they could end up holding unnecessary grudges and also upsetting the environment which is surrounded with friends and other people. So students should also learn a lot from teachers' behaviors. So it is always important that educational leaders should set a good example when it comes to forgiveness. And according to me, the third reason is the students should feel more comfortable talking to you. If as a teacher, if we are more patient with the students and if we are able to teach them how to learn and what to learn from their mistakes, then they feel more comfortable approaching us and also talking to us if any of the serious issues arise in their life. So if we don't give them a chance to fix their bad behaviors, and if we try to continuously punish them for what they did, they will always get fear and they never come to us. So if we are not forgiving to them, then whenever they need some advice or help in the class from the teachers, they will not feel comfortable going out of their way to get it. So that is why always we should be more patient, and also we should give such a comfort way students can come and talk with teachers and try to and be able to express their issues. And coming to the next reason, it helps the students to learn good behavior. If the teachers, instead of punishing the students for mistakes, if we make sure to make it clear what expectations are actually, and if we make some clear rules and show them how to fix their mistakes, and if we forgive as a teachers, if we forgive, when they do the wrong things, that all will surely help them through it all along the way and help the students to learn a good behavior in the class. And coming to the next, if we can work together, the problem can be solved easier. So instead of a single person trying to suffer with a problem, if it is shared with the others, and if the others are going to help us, guiding us in a right way, then it becomes, the way will become so smooth and we will be able to solve the problem quickly. So always, as a teacher, when any of the problem arises to the students, we are the ones who should work with them and try to solve the problem. So for this, I feel like forgiveness is one of the good and best opportunity to allow the students to solve the problems on their own. When they do something wrong or make any mistake, we should encourage them to acknowledge what they did wrong, so that that acknowledgement also helps them to configure out ways to improve the behavior. So our forgiveness should always be a learning experience to the students to improve their problem solving skills as well. So developing the good behavior among the students and helping them to improve the problem solving skills, these all can be possible only when a teacher is able to forgive what the students do. So everyone will do the mistake. So not everyone in the world are perfect. So at their age, they will have some knowledge on what to do and what not to do. So with that a little knowledge, sometimes the mistakes might happen with the students. So as a second parent, we are always should be there to forgive them and make them to go in the right direction with all the experiences. And coming to the next, not to hold grudges. So grudge is like a feeling of anger and dislike towards someone who have done something to us, or that doesn't seem good or fair. So this is a common and natural thing which you usually as a teachers we experience in our teaching life. So if we go on building, developing such grudges, we will be failed in building a good relation with the students. So every student is equal and same. So as in the previous presentation, some of the experts have said like during the grading or anything, we should treat everyone in the same manner, irrespective of their religion, region, or whatever. So I feel like building relationship with students is by far the most important thing a teacher can do. Without a solid foundation and relationships built on trust and respect, no quality learning will be happening. So as I believe the importance of relationships cannot be overstated, as a teachers, we all should know how to start building a good relation with the teachers. And this is especially true when attempting to build these relations with students who come from a different background than you do. So not every student comes with the same background, different students with different, so there is always a diversity of students in the class. So we cannot expect the same thing from each and everyone, and we never expect that like how I am, that my students should be, because everyone is different and they are unique from each one. So we are the ones who should understand that, realize that, and we should see that it is not like everyone should be same. And while building these relationships with the students, it can seem like a daunting task, but we should try to keep it simple with certain principles. So the simple principles which help every teacher to build a good relation and a strong relation with students is, first, we should check our biases. First and foremost, we must remember that we all come from different places. we cannot assume we know about the experiences of our students based on location, ethnicity, or some socio-economic status, etc. So when speaking to students about their experiences, it is always best to remember that as a teacher, our experience is unique to us and it is not the norm that everyone should have. So that is what first we should know. Nothing is a norm. It is always a unique experience for the teachers to know about different students in different ways. And always we should talk to our students and giving them chance to express their interest, sports, current events, whatever they are much interested. And also as a teacher, we should also share our like some related to student life related of the funny things, whatever happened, that all should also be shared with them. And these conversations will help connect with the students in a good, and if we come out of the teacher role and we are needed to develop some student connect relationship, so on a personal level to certain extent. And the
Absolutely right, ma'am.
is also a very tricky relationship. We feel like it is to be more important to build that relationship out of this tricky student teacher student dynamic.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. Thank you very much. Can we jump to the conclusion?
Yes, sir. I'm about to conclude now. Yeah. So we should never hold a grudge, and it is always hard sometimes, but we should not be rude to the students, and we should like to teach them lesson. Instead of that, we should make a habit of forgiving and make a good relationship. So coming to the end, I would like to say forgiveness is a leadership skill for educators because it helps the students learn from their mistakes and listen better. Students don't have to get punished every time when something goes wrong, but instead they can work hard to fix those behaviors. I conclude my speech with a quote: teaching is the profession that teaches all other. I once again wish you all very happy Teachers' Day. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. The presentation was very important to understand as well as to learn the various aspects of teaching. Thank you very much on the behalf of the entire team. The next presentation will be done by Dr. Priya Trivedi, ma'am.
Sure, sir.
OT. On the topic, admit mistakes and focus on improvement.
Thank you once again, sir, for this opportunity. It is visible, sir? Am I visible, sir? The slide is visible. Am I audible?
Yes, visible and
Yeah.
audible.
Okay. Thank you so very much. Now my next topic is admit mistakes and focus on improvements. Oops. Even the teachers make the mistakes? Is it so? Did you did it? And did you made a mistake? Yes. Surprisingly, teachers also make the mistakes and they are not a perfect. Of course, we also make a mistake. Whether the mistake was a miscalculation or a spelling error or something you have said incorrect, inaccurate, or simply didn't make a sense. Yes, but we have done. So now what? Should we be punished for the same? No, not at all. Don't act like the mistakes didn't happen. Admit it. Kids will catch that. Don't try to hide it. Whether you mistakenly said that 2 plus 3 is 4 instead of 5, or that the Declaration of Independence was written in 1797 instead of 1776. It's okay. Oops. Well, even when teachers make the mistakes, it's really okay. Did you catch that? You have to change the class method. You will encourage laughter and smiles uh, by taking this, that this was not a mistake. Second is, even have someone shout at you when you made a mistake and you feel bad. Yes, it is right. When we made a mistake, many times it happens, our head mistress or anybody came in our class and they noted it. As a teacher, we are completing many tasks, making statements, asking questions, and communicating all the day. It happens if we used to make the mistakes. But don't worry, don't blame yourself for each and everything. Start motivating yourself, because this is the best way you can do. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. It is said by the Albert Einstein. Remember these words and move on, because this is the best way you can, as a teacher, you can motivate yourself. Use these words instead of trying to hide. What you have to do is, hey, anybody see my error? Can you tell me what it is? You can learn from the mistakes. So why not use them as a fantastic, effective teaching tool instead of trying to hide them? Because that will be your mistake. Let your students know, you can see the mistake. I just made it. If no one catches it, then you really have a teaching moment for us. And this type of creativity you have to do in your classes. It is very important to motivate your students to see whether you have made a mistake or not. Please do not hide it. Admit it. Next is, I like, sometimes you have to admit it. Yes, intentionally we are doing mistakes. Yes, make the mistakes. Why? Because it is necessary for the class, for the classroom environment. It is necessary. Many times when I was initially teaching, I routinely make the spelling mistakes in my daily routine, or when I was in upper grade, thrown an error, watch as a student to try find it. Why I have done like this way? It makes learning adventure, changing the way of the kids to think to the problem of solving, and changing the way they think and feel about the mistakes. It is very necessary for a teacher to create such type of environment in the classrooms. Next is, learning that everyone make mistakes not only helps the kids develop the critical thinking skills to determine what is and isn't it a mistake, but increasing to trying its critical thinking skills as well. They can evaluate what they think, and it is important. It encourages students to pay more attention. It is very important to develop their critical thinking by these skills. These skills enhance the creativity, improve the relationship, broad the range of the conjugative learning, key to the career success, and yes, important for the lifetime skills. So it is very important to recognize our mistakes by the students. Let them do that. Don't embarrass for the same. It is a regular thing which is happening in the class. By this quotation, I just want to explain that we all make the mistakes from time to time. It is normal. It's what we do with them that counts. Help the students to see their mistakes as a learning opportunities, not as a learning failures. Because this will learn, the students will learn the same thing from you. Last but not the least, this is the quotation done by the Steve Jobs. One second.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So one minute, but last I want to conclude. Sometimes when you innovate, you make mistakes. It is best to admit them quickly and get on with improving your others' innovations. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. So now we have one person who is left, Mr. Sudhakar Raj Nada. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are very much audible. Just a small request. Yeah, it's 9:25 now. Within 5 minutes. Yeah, please.
No, I will do it very fast. I don't have a presentation. I'm just going to talk. So, good evening, everyone, to all the teachers and academicians present here. Thank you, Besto Editrex and Kumar sir, for giving me an amazing opportunity to talk about the different characteristic of an effective teacher. I am the last speaker, and I was listening to all the speaker, and they have just enlightened us about so many characters which we can adapt and use in our day-to-day life, and it motivates us to become one of the best teacher. I am Dr. Sudhakar Raj. Would also like to throw few lights on how humor is going to make learning very fun. I would like to ask one question to you all. How many of you inculcate humor in your teaching? How many of you start with a small joke? How many of you try to put humor in your regular teaching?
I do, sir.
Everybody. I would like to start with.
Yes, sir. Myself.
Thank you. I would like to start my talk with the famous quote by John F. Kennedy. There are three things which are real: God, human, and laughter. The first two are beyond our comprehension, but what we must do that we can do with the third. Nearly 60 years of his word will still remain true nowhere more than the field of education. Humor has a potential to become a very powerful resources and help the teacher in a number of ways. It includes attracting the crowd, improving communication, and solving the difficult moments. The appropriate use of humor is a powerful tool that can help educators positively affect changes in the students' education, knowledge, attitude, skill, and aspiration. First, as a casual person, we might assume that humor should be the most easiest skill for educationists to address, but how hard it can be. I know it is very difficult, humor is very difficult for many people, but how hard it can be. So many books are now being written and available on the art of humor. On the other hand, humor is often seen as the most threatening in the skill areas. The teachers, for the teachers, humor may be even more threatening in that. Humor must serve as a subject-related purpose, not simply entertain. We have to inculcate humor along with the knowledge. Humor that bombs for a comedian one night with one audience and another day another audience, but for us teacher, this humor is a bomb which can be remembered not only by the students, not only by the other audiences, but also teachers, us themselves. In spite of anxiety, sometimes terror, the beginning user of humor might experience the worth of an effort. Initially, I used to teach in a very traditional method. Now I started humor. I start with a small story filled with joy, and I can see the positive change among the students. Humor holds a great potential for positively impacting an audience inside the classroom. Who can argue with the fact that learning is most effective when it is fun? People who possess a real sense of humor can take it as well and get it out. Teachers should not be afraid to use humor. It is one of the most powerful tools in our area. It's hard to tune out when something is funny, right? You must want to keep watching and listening. If humor grabs and sustains such kind of attention, it invokes pleasant and positive feeling. Why don't we use it more often in learning experience? Although it would be insensitive for some training topic, but there are many opportunities where humor would be appropriate. Having a sense of humor is described as an appreciation of things that are amusing. It is also ability to make humorous comments and have humorous perception. We recognize humor when something brings smile, joy, laughter to others. It can occur in verbal and non-verbal communication. Humor have a purpose. Humor comes to us very naturally, maybe from the time we are baby till the adolescent. Humor can also improve social influence by enhancing how much a person is liked. Psychologists point out that humor is often a coping mechanism to help us get through difficult situations. Appropriate humor, I want to highlight here, appropriate humor can enhance a learning experience, but it must be used correctly so it's not a distraction. In a classroom environment, positive humor can increase group cohesion. Laughter releases a lot of endorphins to promote bonding, but humor, you all can hear me, right? Humor can also improve learning experiences if it is correctly used. Humor can also reduce tension, such a before test when individual and group do not know each other. What makes you laugh? Although in a contrary, in every culture, every country, the things often stem a surprise. A person who amused perceives the inconsistency between what they expect and what is delivered. And in teaching, it generally happens students are mostly expect something from you and it's what they deliver. Your delivery is what surprises. The students may judge the way you look. Okay. I really apologize for the sound because it's Ganesh Chaturthi and it's 5th day and there are a lot of crowd and my house is in the main road, my apartment. So please bear. I would like to conclude a little early. Benefits of this humor and learning. In my opinion, humor creates a lot of positive learning environment. It elevates the positive effect in the student, which creates pleasant and enjoyable learning environment. This can reduce tension in the studying difficult subjects. Students feel more comfortable when they are taught with humor. And they can remember not only online class, even offline it works. Humor that is used too frequently or inappropriately may cause problem. You have to use an appropriate humor to help people to teach. If you use inappropriate, then it will be a big trouble because the humor will accompanied by a bad judgment. So you have to use a very appropriate humor. The clearest finding of humor in education will create a good environment. Positive, non-aggressive humor should be inculcated so that students feel it's very interesting and you have a very relaxed teaching environment. The humor increases the attention and interest of the student. Humor has shown as increased attention. It increases the expectations and surprises. It gives you a psychological arousal. This can transform the inattentive, the last benchers to become one of the, attentive one because they love jokes. As a teacher, I try to concentrate more on the weak student than the smart students because smart students will understand in the first go, but my weak students will not understand. So this kind of creativity, inculcating humor will help my first bencher to the last bencher so that they can remember concepts for a long period of time, which improves not only teaching, also a smooth relationship between the student and the teacher. Humor has the ability to reduce a psychological distance between a teacher and a student. Comfortable when you have a lot of humor. I would give you some guidance. As a humor, you should be correctly, it should be very used appropriately. I'll just conclude, sir, because it's a lot of noise. Ultimately, one of the best ways teachers can develop a solid positive. Humor helps teachers and students establish a good rapport with each other. Setting before the computer during pandemic was tough, but at the same point, let's engage, educate them, entertain them. Humor is not just cracking jokes.
Hello.
Good evening. Sorry, I got disconnected. On the behalf of the entire team, I express thank you very much for joining the session. Now, with the due permission from all participants, shall I end the meeting? I'm audible.
Your voice is breaking, sir.
Yeah, can understand because from the last almost 2.5 hours, the internet is working and now it's not responding at all. With the due permission from all participants, I express sincere thanks and shall we end the meeting?
Sure, sir, you can conclude.
Yeah, sure. We express sincere thanks to all resource person and participant. With the due permission from all, shall I end the meeting?
Yeah, sir, sure. Thank you so very much, sir, for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much. And
Yeah.
really, we thought that the meeting will last for half an hour, but really it took 2.5 hours, more than 2.5 hours. Thank you very much for patiently joining us.
Sir,
Thank you.
have you taken the photo? Sir, have you taken the photo?
Yeah, everything is taken. We have taken the recording also, and we will post the recording by tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Good night, all.
Thank you.